Hello, everybody, and welcome to Planet FPL, the world where everything revolves around Fantasy Premier League. My name's Suj.
And my name is James.
And what's your name, sir?
Hi, everyone. My name's Tom Campbell. You can find me on Twitter at UtterlyTC.
Indeed, Tom. Normally...
Give me the sales pitch already.
Not missing that chance.
You come on when I'm not here as kind of replacing me. So it's nice to actually be on a show together. And it's now becoming a bit of a tradition, I'd say, James, that we've got our annual end-of-year quiz hosted by Tom to show everybody how good your footballing knowledge is, James, and how comedy mine is.
Okay, let's just say we're pre-recording this on Wednesday and my head is still absolutely thumping, so I'm getting my excuses in early.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be back, and we're double teaming on the West Ham front today, Suj. So we can pick on James from that side. But no, it's good to be back. I think this is probably like third or fourth quiz I've done for you guys with the charity one I did in a few years back. So yeah, hopefully the listeners enjoy this one and can get some good scores.
Good. Well, yeah, for the listeners,
I love a good double team in me, honestly.
Oh, mate, we could put 22 players out against Spurs and we'd probably still lose at the moment. So I don't think it's any good.
I don't know about that, mate.
So, listeners, yes, it is our big fat end of year quiz hosted by Tom. Tom, why don't you give us a rundown of the rounds and how you set it up? Because we are coming into this completely blind, but really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll do, Suj. Yeah, all right, guys. So I've kept it relatively simple. So we've got 5 rounds for the quiz. And basically, it's looking at football that's taken place in 2022. So obviously that spans a couple of seasons. So I've tried to make the rounds really apparent as to the time period that we're looking at. I'm not going to give away too much in terms of what they're all about, but it's basically football that's taken place in the calendar year of 2022. And there are 35 points on offer if my arithmetic is right, which there's no guarantees about. But around about that, I think it's 35. We'll go through it at the end and top the scores up. So each of the rounds are around 5 questions. Some of them are there are multiple answers where you can get more than 1 point per question. So keep a track of them as you go through. And let us know how you get on, guys. And I can start whenever you're ready, Suj.
Just a quick one for.
Go on, James.
I was just going to say a quick one for those who might be watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you don't want spoilers, turn the chat off because people are obviously going to put answers in the chat. Turn the chat off if you don't want other people to ruin it for you. Obviously, if you want to just smash your answers in the chat, do so. If you're obviously listening on the audio, doesn't matter.
Good shout, mate. Good shout. All right, cool. Well, let's make a start then. So, round 1. So we're going back to the January transfer window, which feels like ages.
The reason.
Yeah,
playing on Wednesday this season. Is it Bentancur or Kulusevski? Which one's the answer, mate?
I'm not gonna divulge which one of them is, but they might feature. We shall see. So yeah, cast your minds back to the January transfer window. So question 1. Which player joined the Premier League in January from Atletico Madrid for £12 million? Question 1. Which player joined the Premier League in January from Atletico Madrid for £12 million?
Do you know that, Suj?
Yeah.
I've got some blank looks.
Yeah, mate. That's an easy one, James.
Oh, I might have it. Yeah, I might have it.
That's an easy one, James.
I've told you I'm not feeling well.
The hangover story is checking out because that is one of the easier ones. Lots more chances to come. Question 1, which player joined the Premier League in January from Atletico Madrid for £12 million? 1 point for that one. Question 2, which Frenchman moved between 2 Premier League clubs in January for £25 million? Question 2, which Frenchman moved between 2 Premier League clubs in January for £25 million?
Oof. Do you know that one, James?
Yeah, I've got it, Suj. I've got it.
Okay,
so just having a sip of coffee.
I do any research for this.
Well, you couldn't because you wanted some hints and I gave you nothing. So
that's true. You really didn't help me.
Yeah, I didn't help you at all. You don't need any help, man. You're too good at these.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So then question 2, which Frenchman moved between 2 Premier League clubs in January for £25 million? Right. Question 3, who am I? I joined Stoke City from Derby County on a free transfer in January, before which I played over 500 games combined for Everton and Sheffield United. Bit of a mouthful, so I'll say that again. Who am I? I joined Stoke City from Derby County on a free transfer in January, before which I played over 500 games combined for Everton and Sheffield United. 1 point for that one. You guys got answers down?
I have. I'm still thinking about number 2, mate.
Okay, good.
Well, go. If you want us to press pause and you need to go,
It's
mate.
all good. It's all good.
Let's move on then. Question 4. Ainsley Maitland-Niles left Arsenal to join which Serie A side on loan in January?
Oh.
Where did he go?
Question 4. Ainsley Maitland-Niles left Arsenal to join which Serie A side on loan in January? And again, just 1 point on offer for that one. And question 5, the final question of this round on the January transfer window. Again, just 1 point on offer here. Adama Traore left Wolves to join Barcelona on loan, but which English team did he originally join from Barcelona in 2015? Adama Traore left Wolves to join Barcelona on loan, but which English team did he originally join from Barcelona back in 2015? And just 1 point on offer for that one. So 1 point on offer for each of the questions. I'm going to run through them super quickly now. Question 1, which player joined the Premier League in January from Atletico Madrid for £12 million? Question 2, which Frenchman moved between 2 Premier League clubs in January for £25 million? Question 3, who am I? I joined Stoke City from Derby County on a free transfer in January, before which I played over 500 games combined for Everton and Sheffield United. Question 4, Ainsley Maitland-Niles left Arsenal to join which Serie A side on loan in January? And question 5, Adama Traore left Wolves to join Barcelona on loan, but which English team did he originally join from Barcelona in 2015? And that is round 1 complete, guys. Any need to be repeated, or should we just crack on?
Do you want to do the answers? I should have asked you this at the beginning for each round as we're going, or should we do them all at the end?
I think we can do them all at the end. So because there's only 5 rounds, so it's not going to be too far back. So I think we can crack on.
Perfect. Let's do that then. No, I'm good.
Cool. Right, round 2. So this is Premier League, but it's for the 2021-2022 season. So I've tried to make the questions at least somewhat related to the second half of that season to try and keep them in, the calendar year of 2022. But these questions relate to last season. So question 6, 1 point on offer for this one. Which Premier League team am I describing here from that season? 22 wins, 13 losses, 3 draws, and a plus 13 goal difference. Say again, which Premier League team am I describing here? 22 wins, 13 losses, 3 draws, and a plus 13 goal difference.
22 wins, 3 draws.
That's right, and 13 losses.
How many points is that, James?
You can do
how many points is that,
now.
James? Go on, how many points is that, James? No laughing at the back.
Stop laughing at the back.
Okay.
Who could that be?
No, more dodgy for you. You were thinking about a number 2, and now you're thinking about a number something else.
Okay, well, we'll repeat them at the end of the round. But cool. Question 7. So cast your minds back to the final day of the Premier League season, 2021-2022.
I enjoyed that. It was good.
I bet you did. Which 2 players scored for Aston Villa on the final day of the season as they went into a 2-0 lead against Man City? 1 point per correct name. Say again, which 2 players...
I don't even remember who they played. Until you said.
Which 2 players scored for Aston Villa on the final day of the season as they went into a 2-0 lead against Man City? Exciting day that was. 1 point per correct name. Got Suj deep in thought there. That's good.
I was watching it as well. That's the annoying thing.
I wasn't.
No, I switched as soon as they went 2-0 up. I switched to the Liverpool game to see if they were going to do it.
Yeah, it was an exciting end, wasn't it? I was on the golf course for that day, actually.
I was
hacking
absolutely twatted in Norwich.
Hacking it around. Right, let's move on. question 8. So again, same day. Which player scored the final goal in Everton's 3-2 win over Crystal Palace as Everton narrowly avoided relegation on the final day? So again, question 8. Which player scored the final goal in Everton's 3-2 win over Crystal Palace as they narrowly avoided relegation on the final day?
I'm going to correct you, Tom.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
It wasn't final day.
Oh, my apologies. Oh,
they lost. Oh. They lost at the Emirates final day.
Where have I got that from then?
I don't know, mate. I mean, it was their final home game. It was
it
was like on the Thursday in Gameweek 37.
Blame Wiki.
I mean, Wiki lies a lot, mate. And to be honest, if you've done
well,
this
in that case,
Wiki, I'm concerned.
You've got me worried about the authenticity of the other answers, because Wiki's responsible for pretty much all of these. Uh-oh. So I need to rephrase that. So their last home game then. Yeah, their last home game of the season.
Yeah, that'll do. Yeah,
I'll rephrase when we repeat. I'm sure it'll get edited out. Not right.
No,
question
mate.
9.
Fuck that.
Right, question 9. Which 2 Premier League managers were sacked in January 2022? 1 point per correct name. So again, which 2 Premier League managers were sacked in January 2022? 1 point per correct name.
Ooh.
One's come to me instantly, but I need to have a.
We will repeat them, so you'll have another chance, and I'll read them all out at the end, so more chance then as well. So again, question
Watford,
9,
because they normally sack someone every month, don't they?
I'll say again, question 9. Which 2 Premier League managers were sacked in January 2022? 1 point per correct name.
I can't even remember who finished the season with Watford. It's such a mess.
Right, move on. Question 10. Which 3 Man City players each scored Premier League hat-tricks between January and May 2022? So in the second half of last season, which 3 Man City players each scored a Premier League hat-trick between January and May? 1 point per correct name. So I want 3 names from you guys. Which 3 Man City players each scored a Premier League hat-trick between January and May 2022? Pensive looks for the listeners who aren't watching on YouTube.
Can only think of one.
So again,
I just lucky dipped.
Yeah, and you might hit the jackpot. Which 3 Man City players scored Premier League hat-tricks between January and May 2022? 1 point per correct name. And question 11, the final question of round 2. The biggest away win of the Premier League season came in April 2022 as which team thrashed their hosts 6-0? So again, the biggest away win of the Premier League season came in April 2022 as which team thrashed their hosts 6-0? And that rounds off round 2. So just whilst you guys are thinking, I'm just going to read those questions in full for round 2. Question 6. Which Premier League team am I describing here? 22 wins, 13 losses, 3 draws, and a plus 13 goal difference. Question 7. Which 2 players scored for Aston Villa on the final day of the season as they went into a 2-0 lead against Man City? 1 point per correct team. Question 8, which I've fucked up, but which player scored the final goal in Everton's 3-2 win over Crystal Palace as Everton narrowly avoided relegation? Question 9, which 2 Premier League managers were sacked in January 2022? 1 point per correct name. Question 10, which 3 Man City players scored Premier League hat-tricks between January and May 2022? 1 point per correct name. And final question of that round, question 11, the biggest away win of the Premier League season came in April 2022 as which team thrashed their hosts 6-0?
Oh, God, it finally come to me. That Man City one, so I'm sorry, that's just between January and May this year.
That's right, mate. That's right. Yeah, that's right. And it's Prem hat-tricks, not just hat-tricks for them, but in the Prem. Cool. Now, special request from James to include a Fantasy Premier League round. So I have
No, mate, definitely not.
So this is... I'm not going to tell you, the question should outline the period that we're looking at, but 10 points on offer for this one. So question 12, and this is Fantasy Premier League. again. Fantasy Premier League is the subject matter. Question 12. Harry Kane scored the most FPL points last season of all strikers with 192. Which forward was next best with 172? 1 point for the correct name. Question 12. Harry Kane scored the most FPL points last season of all strikers with 192 points. Which forward was next best with 172 points? 1 point is available for that one.
Such a shit show with forwards last season, wasn't it?
It was tough, yeah. It wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot going on. Okay.
Can't be, could it, Suj? Are you thinking, well, it can't be?
Maybe.
It can't be.
Question 12. Harry Kane scored the most FPL points last season of all strikers with 192. Which forward was next best with 172? 1 point for the correct name. Question 13. Other than Trent Alexander-Arnold, which English players each notched double figures assists for last season? 1 point per correct name, and we're looking for 3 names. Other than Trent Alexander-Arnold, which English players each notched double figure assists last season? 1 point per correct name. So I'm looking for 3 names, and each of those Englishmen each got 10 or more Premier League FPL assists last season.
They're not just defenders, any position.
Just Englishmen. Yeah, that's all the question's asking there. Other than Trent Alexander-Arnold, which English players each notched double figure assists last season? 1 point per correct name, and we're looking for 3 names.
This would have been so good if you just sacked off the FPL stuff. So.
I mean, I got to. It's still an FPL linked show.
It's not.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not necessarily FPL, that kind of question, is it?
No, it's not really such. And to be fair, I don't really think of you guys as just a FPL podcast. To be fair, I've said to you guys before, just to divert a little bit. When I listen to your shows for years now, the best stuff I've enjoyed is the stuff where you deep dive topics, and I don't think I'm alone in that. So I look forward to that next season. Hopefully there's going to be more of them.
Cheers, mate. I take it they were FPL assists though, weren't they?
Yeah.
It's FPL related, Suj.
It is FPL. These are FPL assists because the info I got was taken from the Fantasy Premier League website.
Why was Nunes not an assist on? And that's just argument for another day. Sorry, I'm opening a can of worms there. Whoops.
Right, let's move on. So that was question 13. So question 14. Other than Harry Kane and Jared Bowen, which Englishman managed to get over 100 FPL points in the second half of last season? And a clue: he is a midfielder. I'm going to say that again. Other than Harry Kane and Jared Bowen, which Englishman managed to get over 100 FPL points in the second half of last season? Clue: he is a midfielder. And 1 point on offer for that one. Now, this question here, guys, I put together before this game week that's just ongoing at the minute. So we're recording. What day is it? I don't even know.
Wednesday, we're recording.
Wednesday. So we're mid game week. So forget any points that have been picked up in this game week. So question 15, Nick Pope leads the way for most points by a goalkeeper so far this season with 70. Which goalkeeper is next best with 67 points? So again, Nick Pope leads the way for most points scored by a goalkeeper so far this season with 70. Which goalkeeper is next best with 67 points? 1 point on offer for that one. And again, sack off the points from this game week.
Would not have a clue. I mean, I can guess a goalkeeper, but I wouldn't have a clue.
I think I remember seeing that this was the second highest point scoring goalkeeper. Thinking, nah,
got a chance with that one then, Suj.
But no. There's no chance at all.
I might have it actually.
Nick Pope leads the way for most points scored by a goalkeeper so far this season with 70. Which goalkeeper is next best with 67 points? Right. Question 16. Other than KDB, which 3 players have each notched more than 5 assists so far this season? 1 point per correct name. And again, guys, this is before the game week that's ongoing at the minute. So it's kind of like up to the point of the World Cup starting. Other than KDB, which 3 players have each notched more than 5 assists so far this season? 1 point per correct name. And you're looking for 3 answers with 1 point per correct name. Other than Kevin De Bruyne, which 3 players have each notched more than 5 assists so far this season? 1 point per correct name.
That's it's so grim that I don't know that, Suj.
That's a tough one. That was tough. Yeah.
What, assists-wise, James?
Yeah. Tom's right. Let's sack off this FPL shit, mate.
No, I got to keep it going because it annoys you. It's funny.
It's true.
Yeah, just quickly again. Other than Kevin De Bruyne, which 3 players have each notched more than 5 assists so far this season? As in, up to the point in which we broke for the World Cup. 1 point per correct name. 3 points on offer. Right, question 17, which, James, you'll be happy to know is the final question of the FPL round. Which striker not named Erling Haaland has the highest XG so far for the season?
I take it that doesn't include this week's statistics either.
No, it doesn't. It's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah, it's a very good point.
Because Darwin Núñez had more than everybody just on Monday.
Oh gosh.
Is that penalties included? Yeah.
It's a good question, actually. So it didn't stipulate non-penalty XG. So let's assume that they are included. Which striker not named Erling Haaland has the highest XG so far for the season? Which I've got to assume does include pens because it didn't say non-penalty XG. Question 17, which striker not named Erling Haaland has the highest XG for the season so far? 1 point for that one. So very quickly run through the FPL round. So question 12, Harry Kane scored the most FPL points last season of all strikers with 192, which forward was next best with 172. Question 13, other than TAA, which English players each notched double figures for assists last season? 1 point per correct name. We're looking for 3 players. Question 14, other than Harry Kane and Jared Bowen, which Englishman managed to get over 100 FPL points in the second half of last season? Clue is that he is a midfielder. Question 15, Nick Pope leads the way for most points scored by a goalkeeper so far this season with 70. Which goalkeeper is next best with 67? Question 16, other than KDB, which 3 players have each notched more than 5 assists so far this season? 1 point per correct name. And we're looking for 3 players there. And question 17, final question of the FPL round. Which striker not named Erling Haaland has the highest XG for the season so far? And again, that was up to and including the final game week before the World Cup. And that is round 3 complete.
Cool.
Fab. So round 4 is Champions League. So 5 points, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 points available for this one, but only 4 questions. So question 18. What was the score in the first leg of the semi-final last season between Man City and Real Madrid at the Etihad? So again, question 18. What was the score in the first leg of the semi-final last season between Man City and Real Madrid at the Etihad? 1 point for the correct score. Okay, moving on. Question 19. Which 2 Premier League players were in the top 5 Champions League goal scorers last season? 1 point per correct name. So again, which 2 Premier League players were in the top 5 Champions League goal scorers last season? 1 point per correct name. We're looking for 2 names, both Premier League players, and they were in the top 5 Champions League goal scoring charts last season.
I presume, Tom, they had to be with Premier League clubs last season.
Yeah, that's right. And a bit of a clue, James, they still are. They're still at Premier League. Both of these players are still at the Premier League teams now.
It's not Harry Kane. Who was even... Oh.
Just while James is having a ponder, I'll read 18 and 19. So 18 was, what was the score in the first leg of the semi-final last season between Man City and Real Madrid at the Etihad? And question 19, which 2 Premier League players were in the top 5 Champions League goal scorers last season? 1 point per correct name. Looking for 2 names there. So moving on to a bit more of this season now. Which team topped PSG's group this season? So the group stage is now complete. Which team topped PSG's group this season?
I think I know that one.
Okay.
Which
You bloody should do.
let's change.
And final round.
Why is that? Because we talk about it.
Well, we do UCL fantasy pods, so there's a big giveaway there, mate.
And question 21, final question of the Champions League round is: which player is the current top scoring Englishman in this season's competition? So again, 21. Which player is the current top scoring Englishman in this season's Champions League? 1 point for the correct name. Question 21. Which player is the current top scoring Englishman in this season's competition? And that rounds off the Champions League questions. I'll just read them out quickly. Question 18. What was the score in the first leg of the semi-final last season between Man City and Real Madrid at Etihad? Question 19. Which two Premier League players were in the top 5 Champions League goal scorers last season? 1 point per correct name. Question 20. Which team topped PSG's group this season? And question 21. Which player is the current top scoring Englishman in this season's competition? That is it for Champions League. So
I don't watch enough Champions League, to be honest with you.
So I think it's
It's tough. I'll tell you what, it's not someone like 8 goals or anything like that, Suj. Can't be.
Right. Final round, chaps. And it's a little bit of an FPL link, but not really. I wanted to see what your guys' memory was like of the final game week before we broke up for the World Cup. So that was game week 16 in FPL terms of parlance. 5 points available for this round, but only 3 questions. So this is game week 16, in effect, these questions relate to. So question 22. Which 3 players each ended the first half of this season by notching a brace? 1 point per correct name. So which 3 players each ended the first half or first period of the current season by notching a brace in game week 16? 1 point per correct name.
So it's 3 players who scored twice in game week 16, basically.
You got it.
I just remember having a rubbish game week 16. I definitely didn't own any of them.
Right, can I remember who even played in that game week?
It feels like an eternity ago. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that long ago, but so much has happened.
I'll tell you what, I've got them there.
Well done, mate.
Oh, fair play, James. I'm trying to remember. All I know is we lost to Leicester, and no one from them scored a race.
I thought one of the
That's only because James Maddison went off early.
I thought one would be easy to remember because there's been a lot of talk about it, but the other 2 I thought were more difficult. Anyway, question 23. Other than those 3 players, which other striker picked up more than 10 points in game week 16? So he didn't get a brace. Other than those 3 players, which other striker picked up more than 10 points in game week 16? 1 point for the correct name. And chaps, the final question of the end of the year quiz is about as rogue as I could make it. So question 24, which AFC Bournemouth player picked up a goal and an assist in their 3-0 win over Everton in game 16? Say again.
I remember that one.
Which AFCB player picked up a goal and an assist in their 3-0 win over Everton? 1 point.
So I feel like that was a rogue tip. I remember that because it was like a rogue tip from James, as maybe as like an outside if you haven't got much money.
Oh, there we are. You're helping him out.
Because what, all Bournemouth players are expensive? Or
Round 5.
He's one of the cheaper ones.
Round 5, game week 16, 5 points on offer, which 3 players each ended the first half of the current season by each notching a brace, 1 point per correct name. Question 23, other than those 3 players, which other striker picked up more than 10 points in game week 16? And question 24, the final question of the quiz. Which Bournemouth player picked up a goal and an assist in their 3-0 win over Everton? And that, gentlemen, is that. So do you want me to run through every single question, Suj, or just go straight to answers? What do you want to do, mate?
You've recapped all of them as we've been going round by round. What do you think, James?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Go through them all?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, Tom.
Yeah, not a problem. I'll just have a little swig of this. I can't. Cool. Right, going through all of the questions one by one. Tot your scores up, guys, and let us know how you've done. So round 1, January transfer window, 5 points on offer here. Question 1, which player joined the Premier League in January from Atletico Madrid for £12 million? Question 2, which Frenchman moved between 2 Premier League clubs in January for £25 million? Question 3, who am I? I joined Stoke City from Derby County on a free transfer in January, before which I played over 500 games combined for Everton and Sheffield United. Question 4, Ainsley Maitland-Niles left Arsenal to join which Serie A side on loan in January? Question 5, Adama Traore left Wolves to join Barcelona on loan, but which English team did he originally join from Barcelona in 2015? Question 6, which Premier League team am I describing here? 22 wins, 13 losses, 3 draws, and a plus 13 goal difference for the 2021-2022 season. Question 7, which 2 players scored for Aston Villa on the final day of the season as they went into a 2-0 lead against Man City? 1 point per correct name. Question 8, which player scored the final goal in Everton's 3-2 win over Crystal Palace as they narrowly avoided relegation? Question 9, which 2 Premier League managers were sacked in January 2022? 1 point per correct name. Question 10, which 3 Man City players scored Premier League hat-tricks between January and May 2022? 1 point per correct name. Question 11, the biggest away win of the Premier League season came in April 2022 as which team thrashed their hosts 6-0? Round 3, FPL, 10 points on offer here. So question 12, Harry Kane scored the most FPL points last season of all strikers with 192. Which forward was next best with 172? Question 13, other than Trent Alexander-Arnold, which English players each notched double-figure assists last season? 1 point per correct name. Question 14, other than Harry Kane and Jared Bowen, which Englishman managed to get over 100 FPL points in the second half of last season? Clue is that he's a midfielder. Question 15, Nick Pope leads the way for most points scored by a goalkeeper so far this season with 70. Which goalkeeper is next best with 67? Question 16, other than KDB, which 3 players have each notched more than 5 assists so far this season? 1 point per correct name. Question 17, which striker not named Erling Haaland has the highest XG so far for the season? Question 4, Champions League. Round 4, Champions League. Question 18, what was the score in the first leg of the semi-final last season between Man City and Real Madrid at the Etihad? Question 19, which 2 Premier League players were in the top 5 Champions League goal scorers last season? 1 point per correct name. Question 20, which team topped PSG's group this season? Question 21, which player is the current top-scoring Englishman in this season's competition? Round 5, so game week 16, 5 points on offer here. Question 22, which 3 players each ended the first half of the current season, by notching a brace? 1 point per correct name. Question 23, other than those 3 players, which other striker picked up more than 10 points in game week 16? And question 24, final question, is which Bournemouth player picked up a goal and an assist in their 3-0 win over Everton? And that is that, ladies and gentlemen. So you've got 10, 15, 25, 30. I think it's out of 35, guys. If I've done it correctly, it's out of 35.
We'll figure it out as we're going along, Tom.
Magic. All right, cool. Well, hopefully everyone...
Well done, mate.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Cool. Right. So round 1 was question 1. Which player joined the Premier League in January from Atletico Madrid for 12 million? So do you seem super confident? What was your answer?
Trippier.
James?
Yeah, Trips.
Yeah, it is Kieran Trippier.
I was struggling.
Yeah, you do a little bit, yeah. So I thought it would be amusing to get a little Spurs linking immediately.
Cool. I think there's some more Spurs links coming.
Maybe. Question 2, which Frenchman moved between 2 Premier League clubs in January for 25 mil? James, who do you have?
Luca Dean.
Luca Dean and Suj?
Yes. Yeah, I had Luca Dean as well.
It is Luca Dean. Well done, gentlemen.
FPL troll.
Yeah, no kidding. I've been back and forth to that guy so many times. It's like a domestic relationship you shouldn't countenance.
Reece James says good evening, by the way.
Yeah, no kidding. Question 3, who am I? I joined Stoke City from Derby County on a free transfer in January, before which I played over 500 games combined for Everton and Sheffield United. Suj?
That's got to be Jagielka.
And James got a nod there.
It's
Phil Jagielka. Well done, gents. Smashing it so far. Question 4. Ainsley Maitland-Niles left Arsenal to join which Serie A side on loan in January? James?
I think he joined Mourinho at Roma.
And Suj?
Yeah, I had Roma as well.
Roma is spot on, gentlemen. 4 out of 4. Well done.
On a roll.
And get your coats. That's it. It's the end of the quiz.
I need next year. I'm going to stitch you boys up and make it more difficult.
Wait till it's finished, Tom. Before
4 out of 4. Well done, boys. Okay, question 5. Adama Traore left Wolves to join Barcelona on loan, but which English team did he join originally from Barcelona in 2015? Could you have, James?
Got Villa.
And Suj?
Hail Mary here. I've gone Sunderland.
Sunderland. It is Aston Villa. He had a little stint at Villa, so people associate him with the Borough time, but it was actually Villa. Well done, James. 5 out of 5. Smash.
Was he at Borough?
Yeah.
Sorry, he had a stint at Borough.
Guys would have put Middlesbrough there, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Cool. So, round 2, 10 points on offer for the FPL team, FPL round. Question 6, which Premier League team am I describing here? 22 wins, 13 losses, 3 draws, and a plus 13 goal difference. Who do you have, Suj?
Manchester United.
Man United. And James?
It's the South London mob, Arsenal.
It's Arsenal. Yeah, 3 draws. Crazy season. Question 7, which 2 players scored for Aston Villa on the final day of the season as they went into a 2-0 lead against Man City? 1 point per correct name. Let's have your 2 names, James.
Matty Cash and Philippe Coutinho.
And Suj?
I've got Coutinho and Jacob Ramsey.
It is Matty Cash and Coutinho. Well done, James. And 1 point for you there, Suj.
1 point.
Question 8, which player scored the final goal in Everton's 3-2 win over Crystal Palace? I think you pretty much know this, James. You corrected the question, so let's have the answer.
DCL, mate.
And Suj?
I had down Gordon.
It's Dominic Calvert-Lewin who notched that goal. So, question 9, which 2 Premier League managers were sacked in January 2022? 1 point per correct name. Which 2 do you have, Suj?
Well, I was thinking about Nuno, but then on Monday's wrap-up of Spurs' game, they said he went in November because you were 15th in November, James, if you remember. When he
No, we weren't. So. We weren't that bad.
I'm sure they said on the thing that when Conte took over, you were 15th.
Nah. That's
okay,
nonsense.
They were bullshitting on Amazon. But then we can talk about Amazon coverage another day. That's a whole podcast in itself. I got down Dean Smith and Sean Dyche.
Okay. And James?
Yeah, this is where we get onto the bit where I'm not sure of the answers anymore. One is definitely Rafa Benitez. And I think the other might be Claudio Ranieri, actually.
It's spot on. I've got to make this quiz harder. 10 full marks so
basically
far.
Basically, talked myself into
Ranieri.
Watford.
Well done, mate. Well done. Question 10. Which 3 Man City players scored Premier League hat-tricks between January and May 2022? 1 point per correct name. Let's have your 3 then, James.
I know 2 of them. Jesus, hat-trick against Watford. Sterling at Norwich. The other I'm not sure on. I've taken a punt on Gundog.
And Suj?
I've got 3 different players. Bernardo, Mahrez and Foden. They were all guesses.
Okay.
But you're right with Jesus. I remember his hat-trick.
The one you were missing, James, was KDB. He picked up an absolute monster haul. I think it might have
Wolves.
Been Watford.
Wolves. No, Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves.
Andy Martin screaming, my triple captaincy, mate.
So, yeah, 2 points there. Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, and Gabriel Jesus. Question 11. The biggest away win of the Prem season came in April 2022, as which team thrashed their host 6-0? Who'd you have, Suj?
Man United.
And James?
It took a while, and actually it was only the fact that they stopped it from being another 9-0 against Southampton. Correct answer is Chelsea.
It's Chelsea. Thrash Southampton, who are always good for a thrashing. 6-0. Right. Round
and he got 1 out of 10. That's a bad round.
Premier League was a tough one to us mere mortals. So
how did I not get KDB? That's because it's FPL related. See?
Round 3, FPL. Speaking of FPL, round 3. Question 12. Harry Kane scored the most FPL points last season of all strikers with 192. Which forward was next best with 172? Which striker did you go for, Suj?
I went with Tony.
I did the same, actually. I'm not sure it's right.
He's a BPS guy, isn't he? When he
it's not Ivan Toney. It's a bit of a sneaky one. It's Diogo Jota.
I scrubbed him out.
I'd never would have got that.
I was trying to remember whether he got moved to a forward this season or last season. I should know that.
It's a bit of a sneaky one. But like James said when we were going through it, there wasn't a lot going on in forwards last season.
Nah.
Funny how it changes. Okay, question 13. Other than TAA, which English players each notched double-figure assists for last season? 1 point per correct name. Let's have your 3, James.
I'm not happy with this. Maddison, Mount and Bowen.
And Suj?
Kane, Bowen, and Reece James.
Okay, the names you were looking for were Jared Bowen,
Yes.
Mason Mount,
No.
and one I thought you might get, James, because I know you're pretty high on him, is Harvey Barnes.
Okay, would have never guessed that.
Had a good season, but difficult one there. Question 14. Other than Harry Kane and Jared Bowen, which Englishman managed to get over 100 FPL points in the second half of last season? Clue, he's a midfielder. Who do you have, James?
That's definitely got to be James Maddison.
And Suj?
Oh shit! Yeah, James is right. I got down Mason Mount, but
it's Maddison. He had a banging end to the season, or second half of the season.
I was overthinking the last month, thinking there's no way Tom's putting Maddison 2 questions in a row, and I thought that's the sort of shit I'd do on my quizzes. Just people think, no, he wouldn't do that. Maybe we'll do it.
Question 15. Nick Pope leads the way for most points scored by a goalkeeper so far this season with 70, which goalkeeper's next best with 67. Who do you have then, Suj? Seem pretty confident.
I went with Dean Henderson. And it was because he gets penalty save points for penalties he doesn't save. And also then yesterday, I remember in the Man United game in the commentary, they were saying that Forest had 3 clean sheets out of their last 4 before the break, which also I was like, did they?
Yeah.
Apparently they did. So I've got Dean Henderson anyway.
Guys, my front door's just gone. Do you mind if I just go and get it? I'll be right
back. Yeah, go on, Tom. Yeah.
The Amazon delivery is there.
So good.
I was surprised when they busted out that stat that Forest had kept 3 clean sheets out of the last 4, James. In the
we spoke about it with Mark on COTC last week. It's 3 and 5, I think.
Okay, well, it's now definitely 3 and 5 because obviously.
Sorry about that, gents.
They lost
the parcel being delivered.
No problem.
I mean, that's the quickest door opening I've known, mate.
It's stats for next season. A book on it to sort myself out. Nice. How far do we get up to? So we got to... Oh, yeah. So you said Dean Henderson for you, Suj, and for you, James?
Yeah, the same.
Well done. Yeah, Dean Henderson, I was surprised to see that, but he was... And again, that was before the current game week. So question 16. Other than KDB, which 3 players each notched more than 5 assists so far this season? 1 point per correct name. Let's go to you, James.
Saka, Trippier, Foden.
Okay. And... Suj?
Completely different 3. I've got Odegaard, Kulu, and Robertson.
They're all good shouts. It's tough one again. So Saka's in, Gabriel Jesus, and Bernardo Silva.
Silva
sort of flies under the radar, doesn't he, Silva? But yeah, he was in there. So it's Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Jesus, and Bernardo Silva. And question 17, which striker not named Erling Haaland has the highest XG for the season so far? Suj, who'd you have?
Mitrovic, I've gone with.
That's what I've got.
You're actually looking for Ivan Toney. 9.
Yeah, this is why I was asking about the penalties.
9.8.
Penalties always sways it. And it's
a good answer, Mitro. It's a tough one there. But yeah, Ivan Toney was who you're after. Right, and Champions League round, question 18. What was the score in the first leg of the semi-final last season between Man City and Real Madrid at the Etihad? James?
I mean, it feels like I've written it down and I keep thinking to myself, I'm sure it was more than this. 4-3.
And Suj?
Oh, I had 3-1 to City. So
4-3 is right to Man City, belting game. Question 19. Which 2 Premier League players were in the top 5 Champions League goal scorers last season? 1 point per correct name. Which 2 do you go for then, James?
I've gone for Salah. I'm fairly sure the other's Mahrez.
Okay. And Suj?
Mahrez and Havertz.
Mahrez is correct with 7 and Salah had 8. Well done, James. Cracking answers there. Question 20. Which team topped PSG's group this season? Suj?
Benfica.
James?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What a good side they are.
Yeah, no kidding. Excellent side. And a good group because they had Juve in there as well. Question.
United are trying to say their keeper, aren't they?
Which you could see happening, right? Yeah, you could see happening. Question 21. Which player is the current top scoring Englishman in this season's competition, James?
I think it's Jude Bellingham.
And Suj?
Yeah, I was trying to think about an Englishman that doesn't play in the Premier League.
You bastards.
I was thinking, like, is it Tammy Abraham or like one of these guys? But I went with Bellingham in the end.
You are both correct.
6.5 years of this is the first time you look clever, mate.
Yeah, well done, Jude Bellingham. He's got
3 out of 5.
I think it's 4. I think it's 4 goals he's got so far. What a player. What a player.
Decent.
Yeah, he's not bad.
And the final round, guys, game week 16. So question 22, which 3 players each ended the first half of the current season by notching a brace, 1 point per correct name? I think James has got all 3. So I'll come to you, Suj, to see whether or not you can match him. How'd you get on?
Danny Ings.
Mm-hmm.
Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
No?
Go on. So you said Danny Ings, Ivan Toney.
And I've gone Rodrigo, but I don't even... Is he a forward? He's a forward, isn't he?
There's your 3. And James?
They didn't have to be forwards, did they, Tom?
It just said players.
Yeah, what are you trying to throw me for? Rodrigo's fine, so you can have that one.
Okay.
I did have the slight benefit of seeing 2 of these. He's the reason Rodrigo Bentancur.
Hang on, I think I might have mucked this up, mate, because I might have said it might have needed to be forward. So I'm going to give you the points, but go on. Go on. Give your answers, mate.
Bentancur, Rodrigo, and Odegaard.
Okay, so I must have been looking at forwards, in which case I apologise. So James, you can have the points there.
Well, to be fair, Suj said forward, so maybe I misheard it.
No, we'll give you the points there. The question from my answers looked like it was forward, so apologies for that.
Tony scored twice at Man City, didn't he? So that's right.
Tony's correct. So's Danny Ings. Danny Ings is correct as well.
Right, yeah.
And the other one is Darwin Núñez, who notched the brace as well. But
I will have them all. Fuck it.
Assuming that those are all right, you can each have the points for that. So I meant it for forwards clearly when I was doing my filtering, but apologies guys for that one. Question 23. Other than those 3 players, which forward picked up more than 10 points in game week 16? Who'd you have, Suj?
I just gone Kane. That's a default. Pick
Harry
a striker.
Kane. And James?
Go on assist, I think so.
Yeah, Harry Kane was the correct answer for that one.
If in doubt.
Yeah, he seems to be a pretty good answer this season, doesn't he? And question 24, which Bournemouth player picked up a goal and an assist in their 3-0 win over Everton? Who do you have, James?
Marcus Tavernier.
And Suj?
Yeah, same Marcus Tavernier.
It is Marcus Tavernier. And that completes it, guys. So well done. Seems like you both did well. James smashed it, of course. But what are we saying for final scores then, gents?
Tom. 13 out of 35. I did not do very well.
It's all relative, mate.
That's true. That's true.
Right, you got a lot more than that, mate.
Now, in the beginning, I started well. And then in the
Premier League round, you suffered
I got 1 out of 10. And in the FPL round, I got 2 out of 10. So those were a kick in the balls.
So the Suj benchmark is 13 out of 35. And the James benchmark, what are you saying, mate?
28.
Oh,
say again?
28.
Smashed it. Well done, mate.
Nice.
Well done. And apologies, guys, for question 22.
No, I feel like that might have been me mishearing you, to be honest, Tom, because I had my brain completely focused on Jude Bellingham at the time, so I might have misheard you, mate.
Did they all score 2 goals then? So
all them players
Rodrigo,
did,
Bentancur, Odegaard. Who else did you have, James? You said Darwin. Tony?
There's Ings, Tony.
Yeah, the answers that I had were Ings, Tony, and Darwin. So I must have been saying forwards. I don't think I said forwards, but apologies. It was forwards I was after. But I mean, if you've got Odegaard or Bentancur, that's all good too.
Basically, there was 6 correct answers.
Yeah.
That's a new quiz question. How many players scored a brace in game week 16?
Yeah, no kidding. That's
6.
a good one.
That's a lot of players to score 2 goals in
one game.
Let's see
if anyone can beat James's 28. They would have been going some to do.
Hello, that. Angus McPhail.
We do know who the quiz heads are. Tom, thank you so much for sorting
My pleasure, man. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Really, really good. Just remind the listeners where they can find you again.
Yeah. I don't use it heaps, but you can find me on Twitter at UtterlyTC. Come and have a chat. And I'll be back for more quiz action whenever the boys need me.
Fantastic. James, what have we got lined up now? This is the end of the week. So obviously Monday being a bank holiday, do you want to tell the listeners what our schedule's going to be?
I have not got a clue, mate.
Well, I'll tell you. We are planning to record a full pod at the end of this game week. So that will be Sunday evening for a release pretty much straight away, / Monday morning. Yeah, we want to just get it out. So as soon as the kind of New Year's Eve, New Year's Day fixtures are done, we will be recording a full podcast for you on Sunday, reviewing all of the games and getting ready, because it literally is a straight turnaround, and off we go again on Monday, which is the 2nd of January. So you've got that to look forward to wherever you listen to the podcast. Make sure you're subscribed so you get notified as soon as that goes live. And then we'll kind of be in touch about next week. We'll let you know what's happening. Anything else to add, James?
Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for the support this year. Thanks, Tom, for a brilliant quiz.
Pleasure, man.
There's a million thank yous I could give patrons, listeners, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great 2023.
Lovely jubbly. And make sure you look after yourself. Stay safe. Ciao for now.
Thanks, everyone. Cue music, please, man. Ciao.